Hello everybody, welcome to another watercolor tutorial. It is going to be Valentine's Day themed yet again. I hope you don't mind here. I'm just trying to debate which direction I want this card to be. I think I'm gonna film it in landscape and then you can add a holiday greeting, which will make it cuter. So we're painting a pretty envelope. So I'm starting off by tracing myself out or drawing out, sketching out an envelope. So I have three sides to my rectangle here, and then I'm gonna have the one crease or triangle that kind of comes from the bottom, and then I'm gonna have another one like this, something like that. That does not look right. Maybe something like that. We'll just leave it for now and then have it open. Like so. Okay, and then this envelope is going to be filled with hearts. So I quickly looked up what an envelope looks like so that we'd get this right. It kind of goes up like this and then goes flat before dropping back down into the other corner. And then the sides just meet with it. Oops, like that. Something like that. So I'm gonna erase all those other lines that I drew earlier. Sort of like that. And then you do want to erase it enough so that you can see the outline, but it's not super opaque, because watercolor is very translucent, so you don't want it to show through. So erase it just enough so that you can see what you're painting on top of there. So we are going to start off with painting the envelope. The envelope can be whatever color that you want it to be, but to me it makes most sense if it's like a whitish gray color. So I'm taking gray and I'm watering it down quite a bit. And I'm going to be painting this card in sections. So I'm going to start off with this middle section. I'm going to try to fill it all in with this gray. And then we'll kind of adjust for all the shadows once that's all filled in. Like so. Now I'm gonna try adding a little bit of black to my gray. I don't have very much room on my palette because of course I didn't clean my palette. So I'm gonna just take something off there so I have room for the gray. And I want to add a little bit of darker gray just on the edge, like the left edge, and then maybe on the bottom section as well. And then I'm rinsing my brush, I'm drying it on a paper towel, and I'm lifting that lighter gray off to kind of make the contrast, the side contrast, bigger or darker, more intense between the two, like so. And you can even take, so right now I'm switching to my size 1 picked up some black, and I'm going to very lightly outline just that left edge and the bottom edge, or at least the left side of the bottom edge, mostly. Like so. Okay, now I'm gonna shoot, what paintbrush was I just using? I don't remember what size it was. I think it was the size 8. I don't know. We'll just use that. This just goes to show you that it really doesn't matter what size you're using. Like, round brushes are quite versatile, and it's really just the person that's holding the brush that matters. It's your skill level, like how much practice that you have under your belt, that will determine the result, not the tool that you're using. And that comes with practice. So I'm doing something similar. I'm trying to concentrate the pigment on that left corner there. And you know what? This happens in every painting, so I'm gonna say it now. But I should have let this dry before I painted this section, because if I get too close here and I touch that edge, it's going to bleed into it and it's going to ruin all that we did there. So I'm leaving a very thin white gap between these two, and it actually kind of creates a nice little reflection almost between the two, which I like. So I'm happy that I did that. Now, let's do the other side here. There's some, I don't know if you can see it, but almost pinkish color coming through. And that's because I had a lot of red. I was painting a reddish painting before I painted this one, and clearly didn't rinse my brush properly. So that looks fine the way it is there. Now, with this open envelope, I want to make it look like there's a crease here when this envelope folds. So I'm going to paint a straight gray line stretching from one side to the other, like so. And then I have, you know what, it's not that I have pigment left over, it's that my water is pink from the painting that I painted previously. And I can't easily change out the water because our well, like I've shocked my well, and I can't use the water. Oh, this is so annoying, guys. Because now the top of my envelope is coming out pink and I can't do anything about it. Because I need a second person to fill my water from a jug. Man, the struggles, you know, 21st century problems. But this just goes to show you how important water is and how much we take it for granted. Whatever, my envelope is going to have a slight pink tinge to it. I can't do anything about it at this moment. So I'm just gonna Stop complaining about it. I'm taking a size 1 brush here and black watercolor. And I'm just, whoops, that's too much black. Outlining the top. Okay. Maybe add that line again. That crease. Okay, so I'm gonna let this completely dry before we continue on with the next step. Okay, so now we're gonna add a lot of beautiful color to this painting because this envelope is going to be full of beautiful hearts. And we don't want them to go onto, you know, the bottom half of our painting. So what we can do is tape this bottom portion. So I'm just using regular Scotch tape. Nothing fancy. And I've just taped the bottom portion here so that when I paint my little heart, I can go over that without stressing. And you can have different colors of your heart. So you can have pink, red, you can add black to it to really vary it up. You have a lot of possibilities to work with. Just make sure that your tape is on tight because, or not tight, you know what I mean, that you really pressed it on there because otherwise it might leak past it and that would not be good. So I am just kind of doing the section that borders the bottom first. And you can make your hearts different shapes. They don't all have to be very round. We can even start overlapping some hearts. as long as your layers are dry, which mine are not, obviously. Why would they be? I'm just not patient when it comes to waiting for paint to dry. I'm sure many of you can relate to that. So I, at one point, am going to have my hearts coming off of the envelope, kind of floating away, because there's a lot of white space up there, and I know I left it for a holiday greeting, but it would be nice if there were some cute little hearts floating up as well. So you're welcome to do that if you want to. I think I mentioned this before, but I really don't like painting hearts. Just the paintbrushes are not made for hearts. So I'm going to begin to have some of my hearts floating away. And you can make them different sizes, of course, like whatever works for you. Man, these hearts are really kicking my butt. I'm just switching to my quadruple zero. So the locations of your hearts really just matter to you, like where you want to put them and what looks nice and symmetrical to you. Same with the size of them. Like I'm making mine a little bit smaller and smaller as they rise. So that's what looks nice to me. So you can write whatever you want, I love you, or I'm just gonna add it with Photoshop later, like my greeting, because you can definitely write it. I used to write all of my holiday greetings, but I find that they look a lot nicer on the computer. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's why I'm not gonna finish mine with a holiday greeting, like physically right now. But that is almost it. We're just gonna peel this tape off here that we taped earlier, revealing a nice edge for our hearts there. I bled just a little bit there, but you could still technically go back and fix that. So I'm just rinsing my brush, picking up a little bit of gray, and I'm going to attempt to just blend that out a little bit. There we go. Almost as if it wasn't there. Perfect. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please give this video a like if you did, and subscribe for more watercolor tutorials. Thank you.